Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of August 3rd through the 9th of 2020. All right, so this week we're coming into the week into a full moon, which is a great time of doing a status check. And usually from the status check, we start to make some shifts and changes for the lunar month. And so right at the beginning, great to do this. How can we implement what is going to be Capricorn energy? I've seen the long-term, patient, and disciplined approach to some of our long-term plans and achievements could be a really good way of coming into the week. And then the rest of the week will be about implementing those shifts of insights and furthering to develop that Capricorn energy of that grounded discipline. So with this, on Tuesday, we have Mars squaring up to Jupiter. So this could actually be quite buoyant. Maybe feeling a bit confident, maybe a bit like taking some initiative, but then another extreme, sometimes not so much. So the pendulum can swing with Jupiter and Mars, but nonetheless, the early part of the week is really good for moving things forward, especially if it is in the context of any potentials, any inspirations, or even opportunities possibly coming in at the beginning here. And then midweek, getting into about a little towards the end, Thursday, Friday, we do have the sun shifting into Leo. So the shift of focus will be on expressing ourselves, having some fun, getting into some of that creative, love-oriented energy. And then Venus also shifts into Gemini around this time, suggesting valuing more of maybe communication and maybe more learning can be quite enjoyable as well, even in those relationships with which Venus represents. All right, so let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. All right, so here's the sky for this week. We're going to be looking at this for each day of the week here, starting first with Monday. And again, we are using the actual visible sky, which is different from mainstream astrology, which unfortunately does not use the visible sky. And so the signs are different. The signs will change. You'll notice that. For example, the full moon we're saying is in Capricorn, but you might have expected me to say Aquarius. And so if you are new to this form of astrology, which is called true sidereal astrology, definitely check out that link down below for more information. All right, so let's go and take a look here at Monday, which is a very important day, which is the full moon and the halfway point of the lunar month. So full moons are a time of illumination. They're also the highest energy phase of the lunar month. And with this comes some usually insights and some perspective shifts. And this is in the constellation of Capricorn, which is about developing the side of ourselves that is persevering, willing to take time with things, patiently, disciplined towards any types of achievements or long-term plans, or just things in our life that we may notice need more of that responsibility and patient approach. So great to do this status check with this side of ourselves here on Monday. And with this can come some shifts and changes that we may begin to want to implement as we get into the rest of the week. At least it's a great week for implementing any shifts of perspectives that we have around Monday. Now with this, Mercury is going to be shifting into Cancer. In fact, is already starting to shift into Cancer as we come into this week. So the sun's already been here, so nothing that strong with this. But nonetheless, our minds are starting to go more towards the emotional and feeling-based elements of life. At least this is a great way of working with this really whole lunar month, is what's important to us on a personal level, on an intrinsic level, and creating a protective environment in our life in order to connect to these, again, more personally important things in our life. Could be home, could be family, could be reflecting on the past a little bit, getting into that feeling-based energy and thinking about it with Mercury and the sun here could be great. And this is really the balancing part of the cycle, which is how can we, again, with Capricorn, cultivate that discipline, long-term, sort of more grounded elements of life while maintaining the water elements, what's important emotionally, because we do need both, right? Personal and productive, what's important to us on an emotional level, but also on an achievement level. And this is, again, a great way of working with the early part of the week. Mercury will be opposite up to Saturn. And so maybe there could be some things that might shift with what we're thinking about that we may want to implement. Maybe some things involving communication we may want to do a status check with. Maybe some things involving learning, maybe seeing the high point of what we've learned, if that's been a theme for you here, maybe the past 6 months roughly. So good to get into some of that Mercury energy, thinking, learning, reflecting, especially in the context of both the long term and also what's important on an emotional level there. All right, so that's Tuesday there, very important day with that full moon. And then, like I said, the rest of the week we'll be starting to implement those shifts of perspectives. But we'll likely be feeling both Monday, Tuesday, and really this whole early part of the week is a quite different energy. And this is Mars squaring up to Jupiter. Mars is the planet of our drives, our needs, our desires, in a square with Jupiter, which is about potentials and expansion and opportunities. So usually with squares to Jupiter don't come across as more challenging like they do with other planets. It can come across as maybe feeling a bit hopeful, inspired, seeing potentials and opportunities. But we just want to make sure that we are implementing that in grounded ways, because sometimes with Jupiter squares, we can get a bit over optimistic, overconfident, and then other times not so much, maybe, not seeing the potentials and not taking the action. So anything you can do that's constructive, setting intentions to take some sort of initiative towards some potential, maybe towards an opportunity that could come in for a lot of us, is a great way of working with this, right? And build upon it constructively. Do know that the opportunities are there. So if it goes, pendulum swings the other way, do know the opportunities are there. And if you are seeing opportunities, just making sure they're grounded and we're building towards them, right? Because potentials and opportunities, they don't always come easy in life, in the sense that we do have to work towards them. And in the case of Mars, take action towards them. But it is important with Mars and Pisces to take action in a way that is quite receptive right now, right? To swim with the current versus against the current is really the theme with Mars and Pisces. And so remembering that, maybe getting plenty of rest. Sometimes inaction is the best action to take. Sometimes, listening to our inner guidance, what's important to us on a soul level when taking action, very important at this time with this, what will be very long transit of Mars and Pisces all the way through the rest of this year and even into January of next year. All right, and so here around Tuesday, the later part of Tuesday, the moon will start to shift into Aquarius. So this will be the next development of the lunar cycle, which is about cultivating our more progressive side. So maybe some themes, the later part of Tuesday and especially Wednesday will be around seeing how we can, cultivate our future visions. What are our future visions? Get into some of that progressive, forward thinking side of ourselves that we could notice themes with that around that time. Now, also on Wednesday, we do have Venus going over the North Node. We usually don't feel this that personally, like the planets, but in this case, maybe noticing if there are some new things in regards to our values. Maybe there's some new values that we can start to implement into our life that seem just very different or new. It could be enjoyments, could be resources, could be nature, could be the comforts of life, and also fundamentally relationships. There could be some new relationships developing collectively or in our existing relationships. Good to, again, explore new things, right? The North Node's all about the new. It's the future karma or the dharma, and in this case, linking up with the planet of Venus, which rules values and relationships. All right, so while enjoying some of that, also Aquarius energy, a progressive, future-oriented energy, will be great here around Wednesday. And a little bit the early part of Thursday as well with that Aquarius. But once we start to get into later part of Thursday and into Friday, the moon will be shifting into Pisces to join up with Mars for the whole rest of the week. So pretty much the whole weekend. And this is about, again, doing things more important on a soul and spiritual level. It's a great time, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in particular, for seeing what is important to us on a soul level. And connecting to these things, maybe getting some alone time, maybe some spiritual activities, and getting more of that receptivity in our life could be really good. And again, any dreams or ideals that do come up, great to put action towards those with Mars and with the moon here. But again, surrendering what's outside of our control and enjoying the now moment and really finding peace with how things are would be a great way of working with that second half. Now, with that being said, around this time, as we get into Friday, later on Thursday and into Friday and moving forward, we do have the sun shifting into Leo, where the sun loves to be. So the shift of focus will come out a little bit of the more watery emotional realms, and we'll go into more of the fire realms. We'll probably start to focus on what are the things that we love, what are we passionate about, what really invokes that sense of creative self-expression. Could be a really good time of simply having some fun, maybe some entertainment, maybe some creative things. And again, connecting to the people and things that we do love in life really is going to be the focus for the next month plus, with the sun now shifting into Leo this mid to late part of the week. And Venus will also be changing signs as well, going into Gemini. We could notice around the same time that we could be starting to enjoy maybe some of the learning aspects of life, like picking up that book, or studying some things could be enjoyable. Maybe in our relationships, communication could be great, sharing and exchanging ideas, right? Maybe also doing some writing, right? So anything that's about synergizing knowledge and information in the context of what we enjoy and in the context of relationships is going to be the theme here for the next few weeks with Venus in Gemini. All right, so that is the most important stuff there for the week. At the very end of the week, we are going to have Mercury trining up to Chiron. Nothing major with this, but while we are getting some of that receptive Piscean time over the weekend, could be a good time to use our mind towards any type of healing around Sunday. Maybe studying, learning could be quite healing and therapeutic. Maybe learning and studying about healing type of stuff. And again, that communication could be maybe quite therapeutic as well. So just a bit of a harmony, a bit of supportive energy there for healing when it comes to our mind and communications on Sunday. All right, everyone. So that is the week in a nutshell. Put simply, the most important thing is all concentrated at the beginning of the week, which is really the status check with the full moon. What's coming to our awareness that we may want to make some shifts and changes with, and how can we implement that stuff for the rest of the week as we do get into that disseminating phase of the lunar cycle, which is about implementation from that full moon. Around the early part of the week, Mars square Jupiter. Listen to that inspiration, take action and initiative towards that can be great in constructive ways. And then going into the weekend, Thursday, Friday, the sun going into expressive Leo for the next month plus, which is great to focus on. And also Venus and Gemini, enjoying some learning and some communication as well. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that like button if you haven't yet. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for more daily videos, and I'll see you all in the next, for more weekly videos, and I'll see you all in the next weekly forecast. Take care.